The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone. Please call me directly, 702-557-6176. I'm available for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Dan French. That means it's Tuesday, and it's the French Workbench Podcast, the most real and behind-the-scenes information on financing, real estate, money talk going on here in Las Vegas. As I'm your host, streaming live. I have a full studio. Well, a couple of people here visiting me and stopping by to give their input. And you guys know about this channel. Also, I want to talk about what we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in the economy and also what's happening with possible recession. We've talked about this before. There's some data that's come out that maybe will point to this even more. Also, I want to talk a little bit about what is the pros and cons of moving to Las Vegas. And we're also going to talk about what is revenge traveling, right? What is that here in Las Vegas? And also, what is it across the country? Because a lot of people are just saying, you know what? We're all going to say, you know, look at COVID. Everybody stopped. The world stopped. You know what? Middle finger to COVID. That's what I was going to say, is say they're going to travel. They got the opportunity this year, so we're going to get into that. So what's going on, Esmeralda Lucia? How are you today?
Hola, how's everybody? I am good.
Everything going good in your world? It's been a while. What have you been up to, Esmeralda?
There's been a lot going on.
Well, tell me. what's a lot?
What have you
been up to?
A lot of good things have happened, actually. I'm glad it's summer. Or I'm glad it's actually warmer.
It's warmer.
Yes, warmer. We'll say it's warmer because it was been getting hot lately. So I do enjoy the summer. So,
well, let me say this. So you're out and you meet a lot of people, agents. What are they feeling? What's the vibe around Las Vegas right now as far as this housing market? Because I know you're in the market. You talk to a lot of people. Are they skeptical, or they think this thing's going to crash? There's a recession right around the corner. What do you think?
I have a mix of both. I've had conversations recently today with some big teams, with their team leaders, and what they predict has been the activity within the last 2-3 weeks. And they said they're up again, and they're busy again, and the phones are ringing. But they did. Yeah,
but is it busy like last year? You know, I think that's what people want to know.
Well,
that's the real question. You know, because people want to know, like, okay, is it? We obviously know it's not the same market, but we'll get into this more. But I mean, the vibe is people just maybe you got to stay positive, and I'm going to be positive too. Like, look, we all want to make money, right? We're all here to make money, and you guys know. I mean, I do real estate, and we have other people, so we're all here to try to dig our heels in and see what we can make out of all this. So they're positive, which is a good thing. But is the activity level there like it was last year?
The activity is different. From the conversations I had, there was one pointer that somebody said today that was probably the best I've heard in the last 3 months. And what he said was that the interest rates are the same as 2018. Would you agree to that?
Yes, but it's different because you got prices that are higher. So it has a different effect on people. Inflation's crazy. So they can manage those rates potentially. Nobody wants to see higher rates, but when you add all this thing with a perfect storm going on, then no. I mean, I think it's a different world, and I think people are skeptical right now, and they're sitting back and waiting and seeing what's going on. I also want to introduce my other guest here. He's back, Mr. Ethan Earhart. What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back. A few days later.
Part 2, you had a lot more information that we wanted to talk about on Saturday, and you said, man, can I come back? Or you wanted to come back. I wanted you to come back. Also, too, man, you really gave us a little bit different perspective on Las Vegas. So I appreciate that, man. You coming back.
No problem. Yeah, being from here is you get to see things that most people do not get to see or experience. So
yeah, that's definitely different. So let's talk a little bit about what some of the things that we can discuss on Las Vegas, pros and cons. I want to get into this because a lot of people move to Las Vegas and they really don't understand maybe some of the benefits. I think a lot of people do their research.
Yeah.
Okay. But what are some of the things that you guys personally look at Las Vegas? Because a lot of people move from out of state, and some of the things I get are crime. That's they're is crime going up? Is the schooling system better or worse where they're coming from? Which I think 90.
I found out it's getting better. We're number 49 out of 50 now.
Oh, wow.
So I think we've moved up a point.
A point?
So it's not bad. It's not like total crap.
No, but I think it is something that's a challenge, right?
It is. It is.
And
for sure.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because the city itself. The city is not really focused on education. I mean, it used to be where you could almost be legally retarded to get into UNLV. I mean, and now they've raised that GPA even higher to, even to be accepted. So I think this is just not a city that focuses highly on education, even though we do have a lot of programs here in some of the high schools. But this is just not a city that focuses primarily on that due to how the city is ran and operated and what our foundation is here.
Yeah, but I think you got to look at it like this. So when you're coming from another state, and you have a family, wouldn't you be hesitant about moving your family here? Unless, look, I think it's like this. Every family has good moral foundations. Everything starts within the family about how things, how that person's going to develop.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are like, well, it's the schooling, it's this. I also think it starts at home, and it's really about what is your parents and what are you doing at home to make sure that person or that kid is following protocol on becoming a good American citizen, people like that, right? I mean, that's kind of what it is. I mean,
right? And that's every parent's job. Whether they do it or not is an entirely different story. But the entirety of the level of education, I mean, like I said, this school system here is not the best in the country. But like I said, we do have opportunities. I mean, there's even, I think at Clark, you can get your pilot license in high school. So we have high schools here that have programs for kids where they can excel, and the magnet programs we have here where you can go on and go to Ivy League schools. I mean, I met someone that went from Chaparral to Harvard, and it blew my mind. I'm like, are you sure you went to Harvard?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, and I graduated from Chaparral, which, as many people know, is probably one of the worst high schools in Vegas. So
where did you go to high school at? Because you grew up here. So
I did grow up here. I started at Hebrew Academy for high school. I went to California for a few years just for high school, but
nice. Okay.
Yeah, here I was stuck in private school for a little bit growing up. So
what are the things you see about Vegas? Because I think there's definitely some cons, right? People are always like, well,
there's a lot of cons
crime, activity level. You talked about people missing a little bit. I mean, I don't want to delve into this too much, but I think it's a lot of people don't want to hear bad things, but there is things that's reality that you brought to my attention that you were telling me before the show that
it's a little sketchy. Yeah. Metro has a page posted where they show that every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every weekend in Vegas, up to 60 people go missing. Men, women, and children. 60 people. This is an ongoing thing.
Yeah, but is that normal like with most metropolitan cities?
No. This is Vegas. We're the most transient city in the nation. We're definitely on the route for a lot of things that come through here from down south, and we are one of those places where people pick up and go to. I mean, people used to come here to disappear on purpose, not to vanish like from a kidnapping, but to run away from their lives. People used to run to Vegas and start.
It's the great start over,
out.
Man. That's what Vegas is. It's the great start over.
So there's so much happening. I mean, we have like 2.5 million people in this city, I think, right now between us and Henderson. So this is a city that takes you 30 minutes to get from one side to the other, and we've got a few million people here. So it is a big city, but I mean, you can disappear pretty quickly in it if you know how to.
Let's talk about what other things do you like about Las Vegas? Like and you too, Esmeralda, what other things do you guys both?
Yeah, because you're from here too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you like about, because you grew up here?
I think growing up for me is you kind of figure out, so I guess we don't have a culture like you would if you went to, we'll just say like Florida, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, so
there's no culture
there's
here.
a different culture. Here is kind of like a melting pot. Like we're just...
You don't feel that we're starting to come into our own culture a little bit, where they're starting to have some things that Vegas, maybe didn't offer before? I mean, what do you think about that?
I look for like places that are authentic when it comes to like, I don't know, going out to eat, hanging out, things like that, that are more family oriented or from friends and people that I know because I am a native. So I like to support them.
Good.
The local businesses, those kind of those are the things that I enjoy. So people that I know that are actually building businesses, I like to support them, bring my family, bring my friends, my clients. And I think that we're creating a huge network when it comes to that. I think that is growing.
Absolutely. I agree.
Versus just corporations. And there's nothing wrong with corporations, obviously.
No.
But it's nice to see a regular person excel in those areas.
So I'm gonna put out a couple of things that people already know. State tax, sales tax is cheaper than a lot. We do have some cons, and we're going to go over that a little bit. But I do feel that the cost of living is cheaper. People know that property taxes is cheaper, right, than a lot of these other states. So you look at those things, and just the overall living experience that you have in Las Vegas is there. And I think that's what really drives people to Las Vegas is I'm going to better my position with a better house, typically, right?
Right.
Maybe a house that you come into that's maybe 10 years old, 5 years old, and then it has everything, a bigger home, maybe potentially a bigger lot, depending on where you buy. And then you come here and it's like, well, there's not much I can't do, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I just want to give people the idea that there's a lot of good things coming to Vegas where you're saving money. There's a lot of good things that people want to change the scenery.
Yeah.
This is probably one of the best places you can do that with. Now, family-wise, it might be you might have to think twice, I would say. But you know what? Again, I always say this. My parents, all my family, my sisters, everybody lives here. They have kids. There's a way of separating that life. But you grew up in a different life, right? You grew up in
as long as you're not living on like D Street or like Naked City, you'll be fine. I mean,
But you grew up in a little bit of.
I grew up in a neighborhood where, it was common to see caution tape wrapped around like Sportsman's Complex, like on the corner of Trop and Boulder. You go over there, it looks like this little castle place, but there's like a shooting every day.
Yeah.
And so it's constantly, you think the place is closed down because it's always wrapped in like crime scene tape and Metro's always hanging out there.
Yeah.
So I do come from a different part of town, but not all of Vegas is like that. You have Anthem, you have Seven Hills, you have Tournament Hills, Spanish Trails. You have all these really, really, really nice communities. Even most of Summerlin is really nice. So you have a lot of great communities here that you can raise children in.
Right.
It's not, like I said, there's only a couple of areas that are kind of sketchy in Vegas.
Well, let me say this. So, you look at what other things do you think that are benefits or perks to moving to Vegas? I know
there's a lot.
There's a lot, right? So let's kind of name some things that people may desire by coming to Vegas. I know I can go to the store at any time pretty much at night. We have places to shop that stay open real late.
Absolutely. If I want sushi at 3 a.m., there's places I can go get sushi at 3 a.m.
Right.
This is a city where if you move here for your job, if you want to quit the current job you have and move to this city, you can do it because this is not your typical, 9 to 5, 8 to 4 city. You can have a business here and operate pretty much 24 hours a day because of how the city functions. This is a non-stop city.
You also like high rises on the strip.
Oh, love them.
Love them, right? People always rent them out. Like they got Airbnb out there.
Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that on the strip?
Man.
Have you?
So Panorama Towers, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you rent a spot there. You can get a spot for like $1,800 there, like a little 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom spot, right? This place has multiple gyms. They have your own car service there. So if you want to go somewhere within a few miles, they'll pull a limo up for you. And this is just as a regular resident, living there. So you have access to virtually everything if you're living on the strip, in one of those towers. And it's not even that expensive.
Well, there's some crazy stuff too, man, that goes down there. You know what I
The
mean? There
parties
is.
there, yeah.
It seemed like everybody's always doing something. Those are they really good though, as far as like renting out? Have you ever rented one out, or do you know anybody? Because I know
friends that definitely rent them out.
Yeah. Is it pretty, like, do they enjoy that strip life?
Some people love it. I know people that can't get enough of it. They'll go out and they'll work all day long and they want to hurry up and get off work just to come home and get ready for that nightlife.
Really?
And that nightlife here, it starts Thursday now. Like the weekend is no longer Friday night. It is now starting Thursday, like afternoon. People are like, I got to get out of here. I got to leave the office now. And I'm like, buddy, you got like another day and a half left. And they're like, no, it starts tonight.
Yeah, it's weird, man, because you get a lot of. Were you like that? Because you grew up here, right, Esmeralda? You were a raver, right? You used to rave and stuff, right?
Just put her out there.
She was in a raving club. So talk about.
I had a lot of cousins that were bouncers, and they were VIP hosts in clubs, and
you went. You got arrested, right, for doing a ditch party or something?
Oh my god.
Pull up the record. Let's see. What do we got?
Just playing.
Well, what
Running
happened
background
was-
checks.
Yes, I did. I threw a ditching party and I got arrested. And I went to juvie.
No way.
Everybody in the party got arrested. We had a... what
Where
is
was
it?
this at, though?
A
Like-
paddy wagon or whatever you call it.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a real arrest, right? It was like more like a warning, like don't ever do it again, or
No,
what?
the police came.
Really?
Yeah.
The Metro showed up.
Metro showed
Oh,
up.
gotta
Oh my
love
God. They closed down the whole plate. I was like, oh my God.
Did you have your raving sticks out? You know, the ones that glow? You know, you're just like, oons, oons, oons. You didn't do it?
No. You know what? It was just funny. We had probably stuff we shouldn't have had, but at the end of the day, it was a great experience. I had fun. I didn't have a nice experience in juvie, though. I was like, I don't like this.
You really went there, though. I thought you were joking about that.
No, I really did.
You did go.
I did go.
I thought you were
And you know
joking.
what was funny? So my dad left me there on purpose so I went to juvie. I remember I was in juvie at 1 p.m. and my dad left me there until like 10:30 at night.
Oh, wow. Not
No.
the whole night, just 10:30?
Yeah, but I was the only
okay.
kid left.
Wow.
I was the only kid left out of my whole group. I was like, are you coming?
Yeah, but you know what? He had to set the expectation, right? Or set the standard. Like
He
like,
did. He was
you know.
really, like, he had 3 words. He's like, don't ever waste my time again. Like, if you're going to ditch, don't get caught.
That's a
I'm
good.
busy.
That's a good dad, man.
I'm busy and I'm running a business. I don't have time to come over here and pick you up.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
give me the keys to your car. I was like,
Oh wow, you got the keys taken away. How long was that?
I think for like a week. He got tired of taking me.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, here's your keys. He's like, don't ever. He's like, I don't want to. He's like, if you're gonna ditch, don't get caught. Like that's the rule. And don't tell your sisters.
Were you one of those people in school though? Like you were that quiet, like popular kid. Like everybody's
I
like, you
was
were
popular.
right. You know what-
But because I had so many cousins, we were called the Diaz family.
the what?
The Diaz family.
The
So you
Diaz-
always knew where the parties were.
Yeah, we did. It was crazy.
So-
I
so-
remember we hung at the quad, and they're like, "Oh, that's the Diaz." That was
the
my
Diaz.
name. Oh, she's a Diaz. He's a Diaz. That's a Diaz. I was called the Diaz.
That's funny. One of my friends, he's a UFC fighter out here. His name's Tony Diaz. He's a troublemaker like crazy. So I think
I
it,
wasn't a troublemaker. I just like to have fun. I like to kick it. I did.
So let me say this: what's good about Vegas though for you? Like, what if people want to know?
You know
Like,
what?
what's the experience? You've been here all your life. Would you like?
You know what? Casinos are a great experience. I'm gonna tell you why. Especially if you don't travel much, and this is like a place you come in, like you can go to like Paris, and it actually looks pretty close to Paris.
Well, you do like a
Because I've been to
staycation.
Paris. If you go to any of these casinos where they mimic a certain country in the world, it actually does really look very close, like similar. I mean, like
Paris?
literally. Paris.
You're talking about the
Italy.
casinos.
The casinos. Like
Yeah.
when you go in and the experiences, like in some of the restaurants, and I was really shocked because I went to those countries. I was like, oh wow, they did a good job.
Circus is just like being in like a third world country. It's like pretty spot on.
They're gonna renovate Circus.
Yeah, when it like implodes
Yeah.
on itself.
Well, no, they're talking about putting like another. I think they put $30 million. They're going to put even more money into it, and
That's
they're
like
going to.
the only property MGM owns that they've never touched.
That
since,
they've never
the
put
days
any
of-
money
Does it still do the shows? Like, remember how you used to go in and you can play?
Oh,
in
the
that-
circus shows upstairs on the
I
Midway?
wonder if it has that. I don't know. I haven't been there yet.
It's
I don't
horrible.
know.
It is horrible.
Is it?
It's
When's
like-
the last time you went into Circus?
I have to really tell the truth about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't even remember. I was like,
2016 maybe 2017. I took my son in there. It was before he graduated high school. It took everything in me to take him up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my
It's
thing.
disgusting.
I went there when I was a kid, and I
That-
thought
it was different. It was
the
different.
best place ever for a kid, right?
Not now.
It was like Disneyland in Las Vegas. You know,
Yeah.
you come in here and it was just like everything, and now it's just it's just
But
a
don't they
bad.
have a water park there? Or am
I think it's a broken pipe. I don't think it's a water. No, they have the Adventure Dome out back.
Oh,
in the
but
parking
isn't that
lot.
like a water? Doesn't it have like a? Or weren't they trying to do? I don't know. Anyways, I thought they had a water park. I don't know. I'm not.
No, that place hasn't even changed the carpet since they opened. I mean, it's
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
it's bad. MGM hasn't touched it, and now you said they're putting money into it.
Yeah, they're putting money into it, and I think they're going to try to really, renovate this and really bring it back up because that area, that part of the strip is putting a lot of money. There's
Yeah.
a lot of money
Yeah.
being put at that part of the strip.
Yeah, there is.
So I think they're just trying to keep up, or else they're going to be shipped out. Somebody's going to come in and say, "Hey, you're not, you got to do something, or you can't be a part of the cool kids, over here at this part
Yeah,
of
they're
the
gonna
strip."
have to stop having $19 a night rooms over there. That place is running ragged. It's like Siegel Suites with gambling. It's bad.
It's like what?
right.
You know what? But also the experience with restaurants, good quality food, and you have a nice
That's
ambience, and you can go in almost any casino has
Oh, by
have
far
several.
the best part of Vegas is the food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're known for our food.
And it's priced well.
Yeah.
Like if I've been to other places of the world, I travel a lot, and I'm like, wow. I remember going to Italy, and I asked for a salad, and I got mayonnaise for dressing. I was like,
You got mayonnaise?
Yes.
That's
And
crazy.
they're like, this is all we have. This is I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's the one thing
I was
Vegas.
like, can I just get balsamic? Is that part of oil and vinegar? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can eat anywhere in the world here in Vegas. You want food from anywhere, we have it here. I mean, we have Ethiopian restaurants, Indian restaurants, the best sushi places. I mean, and we're nowhere near an ocean. So we had some pretty good stuff.
I think that's part of it, though. Like, that's the reason why people get in trouble here, too, is because there's so many things to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, your mindset on somebody out there is like, wait a second, I don't have any restrictions. There's nothing
Zero.
I can't do. Where, look, you could still, you got to police yourself, right? You got to go and, be responsible if you're going to go to college or go to get your job,
Yeah.
whatever. But I mean, there's a lot of people, like you said, that just wait. They're working all week to wait so they can go out and party. I've seen people where they've worked in a casino and then they literally go and spend every dollar that they have.
Oh yeah, it's a problem.
And it's a problem. And then
Big problem.
And so, and then what do you do at that point, right? It's like,
You just
okay,
wait for the new casino to be built on the money they just spent.
Right.
It's
crazy,
it's
right?
inevitable.
So, what about the bad things about Las Vegas? Like, what would you guys say Las Vegas, like, people don't really know about Vegas moving here or they're planning to move here?
That's a good one. There's a lot of those.
Do you have anything on your
It's
top of your mind?
too easy. Like you just said, if you don't police yourself, it is too easy to get sucked into the city. I mean,
I think gambling it could be a downfall for people if you're
Yeah.
not if you're not in a place where you have self-control, and that's something that is a weakness for you. I think
Yeah.
that could be a big problem for your family, for yourself.
yeah,
You
if
know
you have
what?
no
Drinking,
self-control,
things
it's
like
bad
that.
here.
One thing I notice about Vegas is that it's the most fitness. Everybody wants to work out. There's a nutrition store in every corner. Everybody, and listen, there's a lot of fake things walking around. Not saying it's bad, but there's people that do a lot of work.
Yeah.
To their bodies and things, right? I mean, but they
We're
do,
an
right?
image-based city, man.
But
Come on.
that's
People
what
come
I'm
here to
saying.
see good stuff. We want to see stuff that looks good. This is
What?
This is
I've
it.
never heard that expression. There's a lot of fake things walking around.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Well, there is, but I mean, there's true, right? I mean,
It's facts.
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just people want to look good in Vegas. They want to keep up with the next, and it's like when they go out to the pool, they're like, man, I got to look like that person, or I want to look like that person. Whatever I got to do, and they'll go do it.
It's fun. Okay, so back to one of the worst things. You know what? The one thing I always hear that people move here and they don't realize it until it happens. Summertime. People go, holy crap, man, it is hot here. And I go, no, it's not. It's only 91 degrees today. And they're like, wait, what do you mean it's only 91? I go, wait till it's 117 outside. And they say,
Yeah,
that
120.
happens? And then I go, when did you move here? Oh, I moved here in September. And I'm like, you came with the downfall of the heat. Wait till next summer comes around. You're not going to make it. And a lot of people move.
Yeah. Well, they do move, and it's a shock, right? It's that
Yeah.
shell shock feeling. It's like I've been here for 2 months, 3 months, and it's like really hot here, and I'm like, wait a second, it's like I can't do it.
But you know
A lot of
what?
older, not everybody, but there's a lot of older people, snowbirds. They leave
Yeah.
and then they come back.
Yeah, but see, it's good for people that have like arthritis, and there's certain things that
Yeah.
help for the joints, and it's better to be in a hot environment like this
Yeah.
versus in an environment where it's humid.
Yeah.
Because that really hurts people that have joint and any issues with that.
Yeah,
those
speaking of
conditions.
joints, well, I mean, you can get joints on every corner here, which is fantastic. So it's
24 hours.
Dude, tell me that those, like everything, like with the, what, I don't know if you guys know this, but like how big the industry is becoming for, marijuana
Oh,
and
man.
stores out here. I mean, everybody seems like that's the new boom. Like everybody wants to buy
it got
there.
big here.
Yeah.
It got so big that when they finally legalized it, they said that all the taxes they were going to do, we have 20% tax on weed here. California's a 30% tax.
Yeah.
People are still lining up at the dispensaries. They said they were going to take all that money, put it aside for a rainy day fund, and then they kind of removed that once they realized how much they made and put it into other stuff. So this city is booming, like big on that.
Yeah. No,
Well, I
it
think
is,
it's
man.
because it's a 24-hour
Yeah.
city where you can party all day, basically.
Would
Exactly.
you ever move from Vegas though? I mean, because look, everybody that I know
Yes.
that's here, if they've stayed here over a year, they don't move. Like it's either it's like a make or break that first or second year. Especially if you move here, but people that live here, they rarely move from here.
I've tried to move several times.
And you keep coming back.
Keep coming back.
Why?
Access. I have access to everything anytime I want. Like I go on vacation, right? I'll go to like beautiful places. I'll hit Aspen, Colorado. I'll go to New York City. I'll go anywhere, nice places. And then I realize, oh, it's 1:30 in the morning. Everything's been closed for 4 hours and I don't realize it.
Oh, I know. It sucks too when you're traveling. Like, I go to Cali and it's closed at 1 in the morning.
Right?
Like, really? Like,
You're so used to having what you want whenever. And then they come along and they're like, sir, last call. And I'm like, last call for what?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we close down in a minute. I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah, the thing about Vegas too is that you can be anything you want, like you were saying
Yeah.
before. Like you have somebody that could be a bartender, and then there was somebody that's working over at, what was it, the Chippendale show or something?
So my buddy Gary, right? So he's actually one of the greatest sales guys over at Gowden Ford. So he's like the only one in Vegas that takes people through like Shelby on tours, things like this. So
Yeah.
he actually, funny story, he's a big guy. He looks like a linebacker. He started as a Chippendales dancer back in the day. Then he went on to become like the head, bad guy on the Tournament of Kings over at the Excalibur. And now he's like one of the major sales guys, selling high end, few $100,000 cars.
Dude, so that's what
You can
Vegas
do
is,
anything
man.
here.
Well, Vegas it's a hustle town, man.
It is.
You could be one place. They could tell you, oh, you're making dude, some of these bartenders make,
Killing
6
it.
digits.
Killing it.
Yeah, I mean, and some of these tips, and
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Like, it's crazy. That's how you get sucked in because, oh, there's something else opening up. You know how Vegas works.
Yeah.
You work at a place for a while. It starts to become not as popular. Still popular.
Yeah.
Not as popular. Then they got to go somewhere else where something brand new is opening up.
Exactly.
Hey, I got something else happening.
Yeah.
This is the new spot.
Constant movement.
Yeah. If you want to keep that same stream of income,
Yeah.
because they know that, okay, well, this is the old place. Now we're going to go to the new place, and the
Yep.
new place is going to be, okay, if you're making 150, that's not uncommon.
No.
For bartenders, blackjack dealers, people like that to make 150 in this town.
People come out even just for the summer to work here. A lot of girls will come out, work at the pools, cocktail, this, that, and the
Yeah.
other, just for the summer, make a killing, make 100, 150 just in a 3-4 month span and head back to where they're from. So people do come out here just for work.
So, you guys have anything else to say about the bad part of Vegas? Because look, there's got to be some things. I think the crime is growing a little bit. I'm not going to keep talking about that and harping on crime, but I think the schooling system should get better, or needs to get better.
Of course.
I do complain about the construction, but we all know that it's needed. But man, there's construction.
But are they doing anything? Because I feel like they're just moving the cones a little bit each day. I don't think they're doing anything. They're just driving people nuts.
I would agree, but
Slightly.
I also think that
they are.
You think so?
they are.
I think they are. I just think that sometimes it's at the worst times when you run into them.
Yo, you can put
gotta
up a
be
casino.
somewhere.
You can put up a casino in 6 months, but you can't fix this street over here that you've been working on for the last year.
But think about it. With this town being 24 hours and you're working late at night, people high, people drunk, like, it's dangerous.
Oh,
So I
absolutely.
think that they rather inconvenience the 8 to 5 or the daytime versus them getting killed at night.
I try to avoid going out late, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go to the store, and I don't want to sound like a worrywart, but I mean, I don't. But I mean, dude, you don't know who's driving. Like, I know I'm not drinking and driving, but you don't know if somebody else is or on something. So
You know what?
you know what I mean?
So I went to get gas. I want to say on Saturday or Friday, and it was late. I borrowed my mom's truck, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fill up her gas." It was late. It was like 1 a.m, and I went to the gasoline station. It was closed.
It was really.
Yes, I was really shocked. The first gasoline station I've ever seen closed at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
It probably was a sign I didn't need to be there, but
Right.
but it was closed. I was like literally no lights, no cars.
I'm going to name a couple of things that I don't
like,
also
oh.
like about Las Vegas here is our gas prices are number 2 in the country. And
Wait,
we have
it's that
taxes.
high already?
Yeah, we're number 2 in the country on gas prices for cost per gallon. Also, too, our insurance.
Yeah.
Give me the reason why we have some of the highest insurance because you
Because
move your
24 hours.
That's but is it
24 hours
statistics?
drinking.
Does statistics really show that, right? Does it get proved to
Yeah.
me?
It does.
I got an insurance quote, and the lady from Progressive told me that we have so many cars being stolen here. I mean, if you just head up Nellis and like Lamb area, there's nothing but chop shop after chop shop in those warehouses. back
Really?
there. Yeah. I mean, I had a home invasion when I lived in Summerlin back in 2005. And they
Your own
came-
personal home?
Yeah, this is the first time I shot someone in
Wow.
my home. And
You did what?
It's the first time I had to shoot someone in my home.
You shot somebody in your
I don't
home.
want to say it was the first time as if there was other times that it happened, but that was the first time that happened due to a car theft. I mean, I had a brand new Denali I just spent 60 grand on, and it was chameleon paint. And they came in the middle of the night and stole my vehicle, attempted to steal my vehicle to take it to a chop shop.
Are you serious?
It happens. They get aggressive with it out here.
I mean, you didn't think twice though? Like, okay, you know, I mean, because I don't know if I don't know. Like, it would be hard for me to do that in that position. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if someone's in your home and you're
Dude,
home with
somebody
your
at home,
child.
you're not going to shoot him?
well, let me say this because
dumping.
Because
I
let
don't
me
even
say
know
this.
how to shoot off. I'm like, hold on.
Let me say this. It's because it's
No,
like this.
it's fine.
You did it, but then it's like I don't know if I would do it probably for sure. Like, but then it's like, how do you live with that if something did happen?
I sleep like a baby, man.
Do you really?
It doesn't bother me. You have to. That's not the first time I've had a gun pulled on me at a gas station in the daytime. Someone tried to steal my car. I mean, I'm pumping gas and someone comes up with a gun trying to steal my truck, and I'm just like, it's not going to happen. And this was like at noon, and this was off of like 95 in like Cheyenne. It's Vegas. It's random. It happens.
Yeah, it's just crazy though, because it's like you probably would always do the right thing, but it's just like, can you live with that type of thing in the back of your mind? And I think you have to, but
of course,
that's crazy. I mean, Vegas does have a lot of people that look for opportunity, though.
Yeah.
I think that's what people. It's not saying it's bad. It's not like it's bad everywhere. I don't want to bring that up, but you're saying some of the it does happen.
But that's why, because it's such, people will go through great lengths to steal cars here, and that's why our insurance is so high. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. It is some of the highest rates. And I asked the insurance people, and they said it's because the car theft rate. It's because people steal cars here, chop them, and send them other places. So it's a job.
But I had people come on. I've had an insurance person come on, and they kind of told me, "Hey, this is the reason why," and it's a 24-hour town. But again,
that's what I thought.
Well, let me say this: they don't really give you statistics so that says this is it. It's just this is what we say it is, and then follow it.
Yeah.
And I'm a guy. I'm probably over analytical on things, but I'm a guy that wants to know why. Right? I'm going to break it down and say, well, what am I paying this for? Beyond the gas. Right.
That's crazy.
And furthermore, on the not just the gas, but also on the insurance, but the DMV, if you have to register your car here, is sometimes outrageous. I mean, dude, I've seen people buy cars. Yeah, they're nice cars, but $1,500, $2,000 for registration.
Yeah,
that's not. I mean, that's just to me an excuse.
They're looking at a percentage. What is it? A percentage of the MSRP? I think is what your registration.
Yeah, and it's
is
higher. I think it's one of the highest in the nation.
Yeah,
I think it is. So I have to do my research on that, but I think it is. I mean, so these are some of the things that I know. Look, I'm from California. Everybody knows that. But are these costs, going to be comparison to California? Are we going to start to creep up to California? I mean, we don't have any state tax. That's a benefit.
Well,
right?
the housing market seems like it's creeping up to that point.
Speaking of the housing market, let's talk about that.
People say, oh, Nevada's cheap, and seems like we're almost there at California prices, right?
Absolutely. So I want to kind of get into this right here real quick about this housing market. So a lot of people know that, or they're thinking that we're going into a recession. I want to talk a little bit. Do you guys know what a recession is? Do you guys know what the definition of a recession is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like my hairline.
It just keeps receding.
It's going back. No.
So the recession is if you have a gross domestic product where it declines for 2 quarters, you're technically in a recession.
Really?
And so right now I think we're in our first quarter. We've seen that we've dropped. We're down, I think 1.5. And so I'm looking at this data, and we all know that I'm looking at sold homes. Okay.
Yeah.
New homes. So I'm looking at the new home sector going, okay, we had 567 homes sold last year. And right now we have 192. So we're slower on pace to close homes this year. And then, it's builders and sellers, they had all the power, and they don't have the power anymore. You're seeing listings going back up, percentage, year over year. We're seeing uptick in is the amount of listings that we have. Also, Goldman Sachs, you look at, I think they say it's Deutsche Bank and Bank of America all predicting recession.
Really?
Yeah, and so that means that they're seeing that every time that there's inflation and inflation starts to go higher, right behind it, preceding that, is a recession, right? Look, you can go into and say, well, there's markets, there's bubbles, there's economic triggers, right? That pop in. We had COVID, but I feel that we're heading for a recession, yet we still have a very high employment.
Absolutely.
And that's weird, different.
Is it weird?
Yeah, because normally when you start to see recession, what do businesses do? They start to retract, laying people off.
Yeah.
and yet everybody is still working. And it's a really weird dynamic.
And people are still hiring like crazy. But I'm finding that a lot of people don't want to work.
Are you feeling the same way?
Yeah, it's harder to find employees.
I get people
even in my industry.
I get people who message me on Facebook and they're like, "Man, I need a job," and I'm like, "I got one," and they're like, "I don't really want to work."
Yeah, but is it people not wanting to work? Or are they looking for opportunities for a better place to work, more money for work?
I don't think that's the case because I've seen it in every industry. I have friends that are in the bartending and serving industry, for instance, and they're posting, "Hey, I need a job. I need this. I need that," and then someone says, "Hey, check this and this and this place out," but they don't. It's like people want to work, but they don't want to get there. And I'm not sure if it's the gas prices, but I can tell you that this city is never going to stop, though. No matter what. No matter what. This is a city that people will always move to. People are always going to buy houses here. Mm-hmm. It will never end. So no matter how high or how low something gets, it's just not going to stop ever.
Well, I think we're in a housing market bubble a little bit. We're starting to see that numbers are starting to come down, and people that are out there putting their house on the market and they're putting it over list, like you were talking about before.
Yeah,
you got away with putting your condo on the market 20,000 above, right?
Yeah.
And you had that thing sold, but that probably wouldn't be as guaranteed.
And that
in
was
this market.
before COVID. That was like 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, that was back when I had a 3.7%.
So you crushed it at
rate.
that point.
Yeah.
So I think, you look at asset bubbles. We think that, every asset has a bubble right now. Stock market, housing market. We saw a lot of these cryptocurrencies come down. Also, economic shocks. We talk about that disrupts the markets here. So I just feel that in Las Vegas, are we going to be the outlier and say, yeah, most of the other part of the country will maybe have this recession, but because like you said, desirability.
Yeah.
People wanting to move here. It has no state tax. It has a lot of perks. Housing is still somewhat affordable, even though it's higher. And we're starting to see rates. I think they've peaked. I got a guy here that's in the chat room right now telling me they're starting to see rates back in the fours.
Yeah.
DJ. And I just want to say, yeah, I think they've peaked. I don't know if they're coming back that far, but they're saying possibly long-term inflation has peaked. They're also saying that maybe rates have peaked out, and people are going to start to say, well, okay, now we can kind of settle down. But everything that starts with the recession usually happens because the housing market has peaked, or it's in its, gotten to the highest that we've seen. You're looking at record highs on price appreciation.
See, this place could go through the roof and it wouldn't stop anyone. Every day someone turns 21. Every day someone's moving here. Every day someone's making over $1,000 a night here at some job or another. So every day someone's going to be looking for a house at some point.
The problem with that, though, is that the average Las Vegan will not be able to afford a house.
Average.
I don't think. Look, if you get a blackjack, that in this city, it's who you know, right? It is.
For sure.
You go on the strip and you're trying to get that $150,000 job that's doing blackjack or craps or whatever you're doing. I don't know. You got to know, like Chippendales. They probably make money, but how many people are applying for Chippendales? You got to know somebody. Right. You got to know somebody. So you can't really bank on the fact that, well, I'm going to go get a job like that. I'm just going to not even go to, do anything or try to, create a business or do something.
Yeah.
Because it's a low percentage of people that make that much money, I would say, on the strip.
This is true. This is very true. Some of those VIP hosts are killing it, but then again, it's all who you know.
It's all who you know.
All who you know. You want a table somewhere, you want to get a bottle somewhere, not just anybody can walk in. It's all who you know.
So it goes back to me saying, can the average Las Vegan actually buy a house today? And I was bringing these numbers up, and I'm like, average house, $475, up $100,000 year over year, right? It was $375 last year at this time, in April. $475 average house today. And let's say, okay, what is the mortgage on that thing? If you're putting 5% down or just the minimum, right? You're probably looking at like a $2,500 mortgage, maybe pushing $3,000.
You better be out there hustling, making some good money.
What was the price range for $400?
$475,000. So if you're getting a loan for $475,000 just to buy a house in today's world, that's a $3,000 mortgage putting down the minimum payment. If you got HOAs, you got taxes, you got insurance, who's going to afford that? So you either have to have a job like that, which I think most people don't here in Las Vegas. The reason why a lot of people afford it, we know it, is moving from another state. You have a lot of people in Las Vegas, right, that are from Las Vegas. Are they kind of stuck? I mean, where do they go?
The
right?
people I know that are in their industry are never stuck, though. I surround myself with some pretty headstrong people that just drive. And when they see the economy going down, for instance, they don't sit back and go, man, this sucks. They get the fuck up and they do something. And they go, you know what? I'm going to capitalize on this opportunity. So those are the people that are going to always be doing well still.
What do they do, though? Like, I mean, I think it's like mindset. Where do you start,
It
right?
is. I had a buddy who had no job. And then when COVID hit, I mean, I was away. I was at workout camp for a few years. So he told me that while COVID was hitting hard, he started a brand new marijuana delivery service. And he was killing it within a few weeks. Had 4 or 5 vehicles. I mean, and he was capitalizing, working with a lot of the dispensaries. And he had 0 job. So he went from nothing to making a buttload of money within a matter of weeks.
So he created a business.
He filled a need.
Yeah, but you also have to think, okay, it's not just making money either. It's also about what are the things that you can't control. We talk about gas prices.
I just filled my car
Right.
$5.70 something a gallon.
Right.
I thought I was high. I'm like, is this?
I'm telling you,
this was
man.
not here the other day.
I'm telling you, and we're number 2 in the nation. You would be astounded as far as what California the taxes they put. They have like $1.08 just in taxes before you even start filling up that tank.
Oh wow.
That's just their
In
start.
California?
Yeah, it's almost like a taxi cab fee. It's like
Yeah.
before you get in or once
Right,
you get
it already
in,
has a fee in
boom.
it.
But 2018 wasn't it at like $2 and change?
No, I just looked it up. It was $1.08 just on 3. It's like some crazy number, but just for there's like 6 different taxes for gas that they charge.
Wow.
Over in California.
Because
And
just 4 years ago, I remember barely spending a couple bucks a gallon here to fill up my tank, and now we're pushing almost $6.
Yeah, $6. You're
that
absolutely
sounds
right.
like a California price.
Yes, it is, man. Well, California's pushing $6. I think they're close to 6. I can't clarify that, but I do want to say this. Our housing market and its overheating market here, I would say, still builders, right? So demand is outpacing supply. We know that.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's for everything. Right. And you're seeing these costs go up, this inflation. You go to the store, that same cost that you saw water or whatever it is, it's now, I think it's going to stay,
Well, it's funny that you said that. So today, a realtor, friend of mine, great friend of mine, she's an amazing realtor. She just sold a house today that wasn't even built. So this person paid like $516 just for the land. And I had to have her reiterate it. I'm like, they paid $516 for the land. And she's like, yeah, the house is going to get built. And I'm like, there's no house there. And it was up in Sky Canyon. And she's like,
Dude,
no.
that place is on fire right now.
How?
Sky can't, because that's just desirable. People want to move there. They want to see.
Not even anywhere near the strip. And people always want to live near the strip.
Here's
But
the
people
thing.
want to move away from the strip too, though.
So I wonder if it's locals that are moving out there or if it's tourists.
No, I'm getting a lot of people and push that they want to move there. I got a lot of people that are coming from California, from
Yeah.
other states that want to put. It's because it's new, and that's where a lot of the new properties are being sold right now. It's where a lot of people are putting their name down. It's not the only area,
Well, yeah.
but that's like that north. It's the Northwest, really, is what
But
it is.
still, people are still moving here and buying properties that aren't even built. Like they're willing to wait.
Yeah.
They're still coming. Nothing is going to stop people.
Well,
Nothing.
let's talk a little bit about builders, though. So builders don't want to overbuild,
Yeah.
and we've known this. And anytime you're 6 months plus in supply, which that's not happening here in Las Vegas, builders start to worry, and they're like, okay, what do we do with all this inventory? Well, with these rising rates, we'll see how it works out. But this is what this is doing for builders and people out there. It's creating an avenue for people to go in and make an offer on a house that's existing that they possibly were not able to buy into a house before.
Yeah.
And it's because people are backing out. And I'm seeing this more and more. Now they're telling, hey, agents, bring your people because we want to pay you more.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, come here and we're going to give you more incentive. Because now they have stuff that they can't sell. And they're going, okay, wait, we had all this quota. They have numbers they have to meet as well. And that's just not happening. We're also seeing it in the resale sector where people were listing their house, reduction, right? And you're starting to see reduced prices, not across the board, but you're starting to see it in some pockets where we didn't see it before. I think this is going to really start to become something where as long as rates are where they're at, and as long as people have now retracted and they're just sitting there, I think a lot of people don't even know what to do at this point. They're just like, you know what? And we got this going on. We got this going on. You got this going on. I'm going to travel. I'm not going to worry about the housing right now. And I'm just going to figure this out when I get back.
It's probably cheaper to do that.
Yeah. I mean, and then it's like a clear my mind. But, Vegas is these builders felt like, you know what, for the last 3 years, it's just been on fire for them, right? Anything that they want for the most part, they dictate what's going to happen. And now you're starting to see sellers and also builders having to shift because they are not the popular person in the crowd anymore, right? Yes, they're still desirable, but people are saying, you know what, I don't need that right now. I'll go find something else.
You think it'll be a buyer's market?
I feel that in about 9 to 12 months, I feel like we're going to start to shift really to a buyer's market.
Sounds about the time I'll be out of Vegas.
Oh, you're leaving again?
I think so. Again.
Where are you going?
I'm moving. I'm gonna give myself about 8 more months.
Where are you going?
Man, I don't know. I'm somewhere far.
So
away.
you just talked about Great Vegas. Why are you leaving, man?
I have to get out of here.
Really?
I'm too old for this. I've got to get out of here. I mean, I can do what I do anywhere in the world. I can sit by the pool anywhere and do marketing for all the wonderful people I work with. But just being in the city is just not for me anymore. I have been ran ragged. Yeah, I gotta move over. Let the new people come in.
So I think, listen, we'll talk a little bit more about this because he kind of threw a curveball at me. Like, we're leaving in 8 months. But so you're never leaving, right, Esmeralda? You're not going to leave anytime soon, right?
I don't plan to leave Vegas, but I do plan to own properties in different states where I can commute back and forth.
Nice.
So you plan to live in or buy properties in
yes.
different states. That's smart. And I think that's where you branch off. You know, I think it's not just, hey, I do real estate or I do title work. It's like, okay, I do this. You got multiple streams of income just to survive in this, especially in this market and in this world. I mean, you look at how things are going. Like, I'm sure you're thinking about it all the time, right? You got marketing. You just got different things you're trying to make money at.
I mean, yeah, like I do affiliate programs with like Harry's, the razor company. I have an affiliate program with a cell phone company. So I have all these different streams coming in from all these people. But, you know, for me, it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm always going to be doing that. My goal is to find a town that has less than like 1,500 people right now and move there, you know, and still do like I'm in a big town.
Right.
I want to look at this here. So this is AEY Marketing. I just want to give him and give a shout out to him again real quick. These are some of the celebrities. You didn't know this, huh, Esmeralda? He's a popular guy, man. He's got all these people he's worked for. Who's the most, as far as the entertainer, who's the one that you enjoyed working for most?
Ooh, that's tough. I have a couple favorites. I'd say Lady Gaga and Tyra Banks were probably like my top two.
Really?
As far as personality and just how amazing they were in person. Mayweather, you know, spending a lot of time with him has been wonderful. I learned a lot of business from a handful of these people. So being able to just learn from these people and for them to allow you to learn from them is just amazing. So
yeah, the old saying is you don't ever really want to be the smartest person in the room. You always want somebody else that's going to be teaching you something and you're learning from people. And I think that's the benefit. But you go over here and I mean, you know, why leave this lifestyle? I mean, why did
these guys don't live here?
No, but it was something that make it, because I look at it like this: the type of people that you're surrounding with yourself with, and they're tapped into everything.
Absolutely.
You know, and they got a ton of things that they can offer people. So I don't know. Like, to me, it's like, you know.
Well, for me now, I'm not gonna lie. Working with a lot of these guys has given me the leverage to open my marketing company up to working with other businesses. If I can build some of these people to have the fan bases and the followings that they have, I can do the same thing for businesses, and I can do that from anywhere.
Yeah,
I can do that anywhere, in any city, anywhere around the world. So it's not about leaving that circle. It's about building what I've built, you know, and having that foundation and being able to use that and help other people.
Yeah.
You know, and I like learning stuff. I'm learning stuff from both of you guys right now being here. I'm in the room with two complete opposite people.
No, it's just like
yeah, Amari
different
Hardwick, he was
spectrums, right?
great. Yeah, I mean,
It's true, though.
I learn from everybody.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from you in just the time that I've known you. Another vegan here, Esmeralda. I've learned, you know, some from you right now about how you grew up in Vegas, and even though we're both from here and we're about the same age, you know, we've had different lifestyles, you know, coming from this city. So it's not about leaving. It's about taking what you've learned and moving on and doing something better with it.
So I want to bring this up to your guys' attention. So if you guys bought a house, everybody always tells me, Dan, I want you to represent me as a realtor, blah, blah, blah. And we go out and find a house, and then they decide, hey, it's not my time. And that's happened quite a few times. And so what I end up doing is I'm like, well, okay, let's put it on hold, and we'll figure out next year. So they wait a year. They come back, especially in the last 2 years.
oh my God.
And they're like, man, why did I do that, right? Why did I say no at that time? So I want to bring this up because let's look and see what this is about here. So this is a presentation I had. This is in 2021. If you look at 2021, the average median price of a home was $375,000. New listings was $390,000. This is 2021. The average condo in 2021 was 2002. And then if you look at the new listings for condos was 215,000. Okay. You had 0.5 months availability supply. So we're going to look at that. It's going to be important. Now let's go ahead and fast forward to today. $475,000. You would have had $100,000 equity in your home. Also, the average condo today is $275,000. What was it? $202,000. Condos don't appreciate as fast, but think about that.
Yeah.
You know, and I understand maybe we've peaked, but at least you have the option to sell, right? And do I feel that Vegas is still going to slow down, or is it going to stop altogether as far as the appreciation? No, I just think the pace is slower. It's still desirable. People still want to come here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Every day.
Everything. So that's just amazing to me. This is 2021, and then this is 2021, and then the other one was 2022. What's really similar though is the new listings that's come on the market.
It's going up, man.
It's slightly going up though.
It wasn't like 2,000 something a couple months ago.
Yeah, absolutely. So
But it's still going up though.
I also want to give this out. So we're going to look at this. We have this zip code stat. We talked about this before. Okay, so I've had quite a few people that have messaged me about zip codes, right? Okay. Send me, DM me. Is that how you say it? DM.
Yeah.
Slide in my DMs.
Yeah, slide in my DM, right? And give me that email address. Okay, I'm not going to use it to anybody. Just a private DM, and I'll send you whatever zip code you want. The problem is I don't want to just blast it. I had a couple of people that say, "Hey, this one I want, 891, whatever." Yeah. I'm like, "Wait, you got to do it on the side. I don't want to put it into YouTube." A lot of people in the chat, and also too, we have a lot of reductions in homes going on. So I want to give you guys that list. If you guys want to get the list of all the price reductions happening on homes, you got to DM me, or you don't have to DM me. You can give me a call, or just send me a text, man. Just send me a text. But get a hold of me, because that stuff is where you're going to save your money. I have quite a few people. I have listings. I have things that's going on that I can give you some insight on. So this right here, I want to show you is any zip code. I can really put this out. We did this on Saturday, but this is a little bit different version. I also want to go over a couple of things here. This is going to be the historic sales price. I want to see this really quick here. That is the sales price of months of inventory. Sorry, that's months of inventory we're looking at right there. So you can see that it's slightly increasing, right? And that's what I wanted to bring up. That's slightly increasing here in Las Vegas. I think I bumped the wrong one, but you can see that that's a good thing. People want to see that trend, home sales price trend is historic sales price. That's crazy, right? That's crazy numbers, months of inventory that they have as far as it going up. I also wanted to bring this up right here, which is you have number of new listings. So this is all of 2021. And right here, we're at 2022. We're on pace to surpass that, which is good. Yeah, because you got to think right now, we're just hitting June.
Okay.
And we were a little over 25,000. Is that what that says? My eyes aren't that great, but that little over 25,000. So that means we're on pace to actually surpass the amount of listings we had last year, this is good data. It's just not happening really fast. People think like, okay, market stop, no, people are still going to buy. They're still buying. It doesn't mean that they're not buying. And then I want to bring this up. This is what I thought we were looking at before. It's the sale price versus list price. You can see across the board still, everybody's getting what they list their home for the most part.
Oh yeah.
On average. Okay, we saw these 3 months, 4 months right here where you see it's well above list price. People are just like, hey, I'm going all in, I'm throwing down, right? Well, we're starting to see this pattern, and I'm hoping that this pattern will start to come down where you're not going to see so many properties getting above list or at list. You're going to start to see price reduction where it starts to slow down that process. And I think hopefully in the news or the data that we see for the month of May, we're going to start to see that, because that's going to be a key indicator if things are really starting to slow down. I think this market is an unhealthy market, right? It's because rates are high, prices are high, and it's taken away all the options for people out there to buy homes. And especially that lower or middle income wage earning families. Those are the people, when you put yourself in that category, you can't go above list for the most part and say, hey, I'm going to compete. You're competing. That's what you're doing. You're competing for the property.
Yeah.
You can't go $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 above list. You can't go buy that house that you might be somebody that's putting 5% down or down payment assistance program, and the other person's putting 50% down, 800 credit score. You know what I mean? They got no restrictions on moving. It's just difficult. So those type of people, that classification of people, I want them to have an opportunity too. I understand not everybody deserves to buy a house, but it needs to kind of pull itself back the other direction a little bit.
I think the big change that shifted too was, I guess during the whole COVID thing, was that a lot of people were able to work from home. So being able to work from home gave you the opportunity to not be stuck going into an office. Now you can literally move wherever you want and still have your job working remotely. So it gave people the opportunity to move, and a lot of those people came here.
I think that stimulated the market in the housing market
nationwide,
because I think that was the biggest factor.
Yeah, you're like, I can stay home and work. That means I can move anywhere and keep my job. And it was amazing.
Well, here's my thing is, would you guys buy in this market? This is the question, because I think it's always this, okay, investors, property tax, very lucrative.
Investors, they always have a bottom line.
Yeah.
They have a bottom line, but you also have to look at what are the perks on buying into that market or buying into that city or that state. And you have to say, well, property tax is low, no state tax. Okay, we get that. We know that the rents here, there's no rent cap really.
Yeah.
As far as, I mean, there's algorithm that you have to go off of, but there's some, I've heard in Las Vegas, there's no rent cap to how much renters can actually raise the rents. I'm not saying gouge people, but also too, you can plant your money if you're not even an investor. Let's say you're somebody that just wants to, I have money in the bank, what do I do with it? Right. Vegas might be a great place to plant your money just because of all those things, right? So that and also people that have to buy a primary residence.
Yeah.
If you're somebody out there that needs to buy a home, I don't care what market it is. There is no good or bad market. There's better markets. But if you still got to buy and your family has to live somewhere, then you got to go in and buy.
You know, it's funny that you said that you want everybody to be able to afford a home. Did you know that Home Depot right now is selling tiny homes for $12,000?
Really?
Absolutely. 2-story tiny home, just like you see on the shows.
Do they need a realtor?
$12,000. I know, right? Imagine that commission. Like, here's your $30.
Hey, man, I'll roll up my sleeves.
I think that the market that's the best is the one that you could afford it, right? You can put the money down, you could afford the mortgage, and you have the credit if you don't have cash. I think that's the market that's best.
That property is going to be valued to the person buying it. Like me, if I went to go buy a house, I don't care if it costs $500,000 or 1.5. If it's something I want, I'm going to buy it.
Well, that's 100% true. And look, people come in and buy homes, and a lot of times they don't even look at the price.
Yeah.
They're like, this is how I want it. This is how I want it designed.
Exactly.
This is the flooring. This is this. This is that. And they just don't even, it doesn't, look, price is price. But when you're buying a home, it's the biggest investment a middle-class person typically makes in their lifetime.
Absolutely.
They want to do it right. They don't want to make a mistake. It's one of those things like when you go buy a car, it's not even on that magnitude. Really, a house is even bigger than that, because that's where typically your family lives. That's where you go home. You want to make sure you have a good neighborhood. You got to make sure you have schools, you have parks. You know what I mean? It's not high traffic. Yeah. Your kids are safe. Like, all these things come into play, and it's like that's where you really have to figure out, okay, what do I put my money at? Like, where am I going to invest my money smartly into? And I think most people don't have a problem putting an extra 20, 30, 40 if you have it, 1,000 into a house or into a neighborhood or into a location, because it's always location, right? It's about reselling the home. Yeah. And I think that's where people are at. People say, and you know, the days that people used to say, I'm going to pull money out, I'm going to go buy Sea-Doos, and I'm going to go buy that boat, or I'm going to go and, do whatever. They're not doing it as much. They figured this out a little bit, as far as just seeing. A lot of people see that what's happened to their families, especially with what happened, during the last crash, So I don't know. I think it's all about what is your position in life, and do you need a house? And if you need a house, it doesn't really matter.
I think there's two kinds of home buyers. There's those that can buy what they want, and those that buy what they can. And the ones that can buy what they can don't really have the options, like you were saying, to go pull out all that money to go buy everything they want. So they're the ones that have to find that good deal. They're the ones waiting for that interest rate to somehow magically drop and get a decent home that's much cheaper than what you could normally get it for, versus the person who has the money is just going to get what they want anyway. So the market's not ever going to stop for those people.
Well, I think that United States is known for the American dream, and that's to own a home.
The American dream is to make the money and is make as much as you can.
Yeah, but it's also to have a home, Yeah.
And then if you keep doing it and someone gets upset with you, then you got to go sit on timeout for a little bit. Yeah. So
I want to bring this up really quick. So we're going to end the show here in a second, but I want to bring up revenge traveling. And I don't know if you guys know what that is, but basically COVID shut down us. I mean, it was astonishing when you saw the strip shut down. It was really like something out of a movie.
Bikes.
Yeah, it was like out of a movie. No, I went there when nobody was riding, and it was like the apocalypse, man. It was like, I thought zombies were going to come out. I mean, it was weird because it was just I've never seen something. But people didn't travel. People were stuck in their house. I was going crazy in my house. I was like, where can I go? Like, I would go to a park and act like I'm doing something. I'm just like, why are you here? I don't know. I just got to be somewhere.
I was walking my neighborhood.
Right.
I was talking to family members. They're like, you have no idea what it's like. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, it's like being in prison. And I'm like, really?
Well, listen, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, I think it's still better than being there. But I mean, my thing is this, is like, you look at people just tired of not being able to do what they want. And, they have money. People have been getting stimulus checks. Maybe they didn't spend it, right? People's nest eggs are there. And I think people are just going, you know what? Summertime, kids are out of school. Yep. Revenge.
Dude, summer's
revenge
gonna get
on
blown
us
out
having
here.
to sit at home
Yeah,
for a year.
Summer's going to get blown out here.
It's
Everyone's going to
crazy.
make up for the last few years and just destroy Vegas.
That's me. No, it's fine.
Are you guys planning to travel anywhere?
I'm actually going to Atlanta in July.
Oh yeah? What you gonna do out there?
I have friends.
You gonna go out and meet the Atlanta housewives?
Right?
Hey, I didn't
Go
think
sell them
about
some
that.
houses.
I'm gonna have to call a couple.
She's gonna
friends.
go try to do.
No, I'm definitely. I'm making up for my traveling. I usually travel. I travel quite a bit, and I didn't. It was weird. It was weird to be like, I have no plans.
Yeah, I'm flying next week. I'm traveling to the other side of the country, to the middle of nowhere.
Where's that at?
It's this really teeny tiny town outside of Minneapolis.
Okay.
That has like 9.5 people in it.
Oh my God, I went to Minneapolis.
See, I mean, but you'll come back because you'll be over there, man. You'll be like,
Hopefully.
He'll be bored.
He'll be like, okay,
Hey, boring is good.
bored is good.
Boring is fantastically safe.
Well, a lot of people right now are traveling and they don't care about the costs.
Yeah.
Most people were paying non-necessity things, but the news come out that they're paying a lot for luggage and traveling gear.
Can I tell you that I bought my round trip ticket, and I'm talking to the other side of the country, round trip for $230?
Where's that at?
It was what was it, Delta? Yeah, Delta Airlines.
Was it an exotic place? Because that's where people are traveling right now.
Yeah, I'm going right outside of Minneapolis.
Oh, that's
I'm
why.
flying
okay.
into Minneapolis.
I thought
That's
you were-
why, because there's no one going.
I'm going there. The whole plane is for me.
My Atlanta, hey, mine was not 200. I mean, I wish I was.
Well, some people. So what I was reading is that a lot of people want to go to that exotic trip,
Yeah.
pay souvenirs. They don't care about the cost anymore.
No.
Because they have that extra money. I'm like, well, I don't know. You got inflation though, right? You got costs of things going up, gas. People are like, you know what? Airplane tickets. Who cares?
But is it extra though, or is it that you just did not spend it the last 2 years?
I think they didn't spend it because they said, hey, there's other things I'm allocating my money to.
Absolutely.
And now they're saying, well, I'm going to pick and choose and cross things out that I may not need. And what I mean is, okay, maybe going and getting that hair done, you're only going to do it once every 2 weeks instead of once a week, right? Instead of me going and buy those shoes that I want to buy, I bought, a new pair of shoes, or taking my clothes to the cleaners as much. Now I'm going to be more conservative. I think people are just starting to be smarter.
Yeah, that 20 grand that most women did not spend on their hair the last 2 years because they didn't have to leave the house and look good for anyone. Now they're taking that and going on trips.
Dude, Vegas has not missed a beat.
No.
At all.
No.
And that's what I'm trying to tell people. It doesn't matter. People will still find a way and a reason to come to Vegas. They'll still gamble.
Oh, yeah.
They're still going to want to come and desire to be here. And I don't know, man. I don't see it stopping. But revenge traveling is at an all-time high.
At the strip clubs, I mean, the strippers are wearing face masks, but I mean, they're not
Still?
wearing anything else. No, during COVID. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
I
they
was like,
weren't
really
wearing
now?
no clothing, but they definitely had a face mask on. So
Really?
it was, yeah,
That's funny.
there's ways around it.
All right, guys, we're going to end the show. I want to bring up a couple of things here, though. So we're going to bring up some music real quick. And I just want to bring you guys over here. I really like this beat, by the way. So come over here and we're going to take a look at this. So first off, if you guys don't know, I have other channels. I got this channel that I just started called The Sound Off. Take a look at that. You guys are out there, please subscribe. I'm going to put a lot of little work into trying to get you guys the right information. A lot of stuff I talk about here is I'm going to start talking about there, so you'll get some of the topics. Also, real estate, here's my real estate channel. I want you guys to check that out, subscribe. I'm putting out a lot of information on properties right now. If you guys have any questions, we have it all broken down. And, we're going to have another video coming out about a flip property that we looked at. So please subscribe to this. And if you guys are looking for that dream home, I have a website here. Please go to this website, look around. This is all attached to the MLS. You can subscribe. It also has my YouTube stuff there and a lot of good information there. And that's it, guys. So as you guys know, this is the most real and behind the scenes information on financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs happening here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French. We'll be back here on Thursday. Brett's going to be back. We're going to have a lot of good information on what's happening in the financing world, stock market, crypto, and Brett's going to bring the energy. We'll see you guys Thursday. Thank you for watching the French Workbench Podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there, a lot of good information, and you can find